Dispatch is a phenomenal game. The audience and critics love it. It sold 1 million copies in 10 days, and there are talks of a potential season 2, according to the devs. And the cast seem up for it too. But it's also a weird game. It kind of shouldn't have been as successful as it is. Not yet, anyway. It was always going to be a success because it's, really good, but it's honestly more TV show than game. And it was released in episodes. So there's no guarantee it was going to be a good overall product. They could have messed up the ending so hard and ruined the whole game, Game of Thrones style. Luckily, they didn't. The production was also a little messy, apparently. It was originally being planned as a live-action TV show. Live action, not even animated. So it definitely went on a journey. Also, let me know who you think would play each character, if they got actual actors, and subscribe. So I believe Dispatch's success has actually been based on only 3 things. The first being the start of the game. The first 2 hours or so. They were just so good that people bought it on potential alone, almost like buying an early access game. The second reason it was so good was the pedigree of the developers. Ad Hoc Studios and Critical Role both have a reputation of making really beloved episodic content, both across gaming, TV shows, and D&D actual plays. It was probably just going to sell well because people who were fans of things like The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime and the game The Wolf Among Us would have heard about it and bought it because they knew it was going to be good. But I think the third reason this game was so successful is the biggest contributor to how well it sold, and it's the reason I think the gaming landscape is about to change: the marketing. This game was built from the ground up to be everywhere, and it was also a huge gamble. A gamble that paid off, and I'll talk about that gamble in a minute. They could have gone horribly wrong. But with Critical Role on board, they already had a fan base to pull from. And of course, fans of the developers who love the games, like The Wolf Among Us, would also check it out. Well, then they went on to stack the cast with celebrities who dominate in their niche. Aaron Paul is obviously a household name after Breaking Bad. He does a crazy good job in this, by the way. Laura Bailey is a popular voice actor in a ton of shows, games, and of course, a D&D player for Critical Role. And then there's a bunch of other really talented voice actors and actors from games and shows, and then a few interesting choices. Alana Pierce, Moist Critical, Jacksepticeye, Joel Haver. The list of content creators and influencers goes on and on. From the cast alone, the subscribers they have on YouTube must easily be above 50 million altogether. And all these creators would be talking about and playing the game for weeks as it all came out. It was just a recipe for success. Now, the gamble I talked about earlier was that having so many creators involved who would play the game to their millions of subscribers may lead to no one needing to buy the game because they just watched other people play it. But just adding to the perfect recipe was the fact that it's a choice-based game, and you could watch 2 or 3 different creators play the game and still want to play it yourself to get different outcomes. So I've told you why the game is so successful, but why do I think it's going to change gaming forever? Well, a game that gets 130,000 concurrent players on stream in its first few weeks tends to turn heads. Last time I checked, by the way, the concurrent players was at like 220,000, so it's only climbed. It's also an outlier. Story-based games like this have not historically been this profitable. They've been successful, but this is crazy. It's set at a 4.95 rating on PSN and overwhelmingly positive with 95% positive reviews on Steam. It's also different from a lot of games coming out at the moment. With your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and your Call of Battles and your Battle of Duties. There's also just a lot of benefits to releasing a game like Dispatch in the way they did. Did you know the developers watched live streams after they released episodes and would change things in the game in real time depending on how the audience reacted to things?
Yeah, we're watching everything. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, we're there's always a stream running on a second monitor, probably at everyone in our studio. Yeah. So I mean, some of that is just because we're curious. We want to watch people's reactions, but some of that is also like there are little tweaks and things we can do, like if they're not reacting a way we thought they would to this moment or to this character, and like there are some levers we have that we can kind of pull to kind of course correct the way we were hoping it would go, but pretty much everything is locked. We're doing those kind of like final fixes at the end.
Do you know how many game studios would love to be able to change things in real time like that? Now, I think this was an over-exaggeration. I don't believe they're changing a lot, but they do have the ability to do so, which is cool. Also, this influencer marketing and getting it everywhere was definitely built into the game in development from the start, as seen from the fact that you can turn off unlicensed music or you can put nudity filters on, or, censor things, which I guess is good for any game, but in particular the licensed music situation. That is just there for streamers to be able to stream copyright free, not run into any issues with that at all. This is a game that was built to be streamed, and it was a game to market itself. And it's honestly genius. Just like Lethal Company created the friend slop movement, with tons of games being released with the express purpose to go viral with streamers and creators selling an insane amount of copies fast, I believe Dispatch is going to lead to video game developers using influencers as voice actors to market their games for them. Like a lot from now on. This is going to be really common. I think we're going to see a lot more games being released episodically as well, to slowly build up hype over weeks. And I think we're going to see companies like Netflix or Amazon trying to create their own interactive shows based on the Dispatch model, rather than something like a Bandersnatch model. Netflix wants to make games, it wants to make interactive shows. They're having meetings right now talking about Dispatch. And look, a lot of games have done all these things in the past, been episodic and used well-known people who could market the game for them, but the reality is none have ever done it this perfectly. And while I'm actually quite worried that other developers are going to get the wrong idea here and create bad games, hoping marketing alone will sell it for them, I am confident that we're going to see some really good games in the future based on the Dispatch model. And hopefully one of those games is Dispatch 2. I mean, that does seem likely right now. I also think we're just going to see a lot more Dispatch, as in the IP in places. Spin-offs in other media, whether that's the TTRPG space, or as an animated show, or even other games that play very differently to this one, just all set in the same world. But I cannot stress enough, while I think the marketing of this game has been ingenious, leveraging streamers and creators to just make sure it spreads as far as possible, none of that would have worked if the game itself was not fantastic. The characters and the animation and the voice acting are all spot on. And it's also hilarious and really quite moving and very inspiring as well. I did not expect to be so inspired by this game. The biggest surprise for me was actually how much I enjoyed the gameplay parts. When I first started playing, these were the parts of the game I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get through this to get to the story and the choices and the cool stuff. But by the end of the game, I was desperate to do more of those gameplay parts. There's something that really clicked in my lizard brain that made me want more of them. And as the episodes go on, those gameplay sequences actually start injecting story and character moments into them in really subtle ways, and sometimes less subtle ways, that I think really changed the way I understood what was going on. Anyway, I want you to be really honest in the comments. Did you buy and play Dispatch yourself? Or did you just watch a content creator live stream it? Or did you do both? And thank you for watching.